There's too many scandals in politics, there's too much dirty money, and there's not enough transparency. So I decided I wanted my residents to know exactly to the penny how much I'm taking home of taxpayers' money and how much tax I'm paying on that as well, which I think most people don't know about their politicians. Council, like IPSA, they publish a very basic figure. So if you go on Havering Council's website, you do a little bit of digging through the back pages of the internet, and you'll find one line. So for me, it will say David Taylor, councillor, and he's paid £10,402. That's it. That doesn't tell the residents anything. It doesn't tell the residents if I've got a second job. It doesn't tell the residents if I'm paying the correct level of tax. And also there's other things. It doesn't tell the residents that the council, for example, pay national insurance contributions for me as an employee of the council. That's extra £1,500 a year. So yeah, there's some information there, but transparency isn't just about telling you what's there. It's about making it easily accessible. And also it's about setting a new tone and just showing people I've got nothing to hide and nobody else should have anything to hide either.
Are you a full-time councillor? Do you have? I know sometimes councillors have other jobs as well, but is this your full-time job?
No, it's not a full-time job. No, I work full-time for Housing Association, and then I've got my job as a councillor on the side, and that's something that my residents can see quite clearly. It's in my register of interest, but also my residents can see the tax code, so they can see that I'm paying tax elsewhere on a different income. All of that's available. All of that's visible. And it's not just on my website. I email it out to my residents every month, a full photocopy of my payslip.
So why not publish the pay for all of your earnings?
Well, of course, I could publish the earnings I get from my private work as well. My job with the Housing Association. That's not necessarily something they might want to publish. But my earnings as a councillor are paid for by taxpayers. You know, this is money that comes from my residents that they're taxed on increasingly every single year. You know, this year just went up 5%. I am answerable to them as my employer. And I think if my employer for my personal job, if they know what I'm taking home, then my employer as my residents, the taxpayers, they should know what I'm taking home as well.
And finally, then, you've done this. Do you think that other politicians should do it? Should all politicians, MPs, ministers, the Prime Minister, should Rishi Sunak publish his payslips?
I don't see why not. And this is the thing is, as I say, transparency isn't just about making the figure available, right? IPSA publishes what the Prime Minister has paid. They publish the expenses, but it's difficult to get to it. You've got to be an expert and go onto page 5 of Google before you can find this information. Or politicians could volunteer it to the residents. And that's what I want to do in this. That's what I hope other politicians would do, is to volunteer this information in a really straightforward, easy to understand way, rather than having to navigate the systems. Some people don't agree with me. I've got local councillors that think it's a bit of a stunt or they think it's pointless and so on. But I think this is a way of showing the residents that this is their money, that I, as a Conservative, think that we should be as frugal as possible with the taxpayers' money and that we should have absolutely nothing to hide. So I'm going to keep doing it. I've done it for a year so far. I've got 3 more years of being a councillor. Anyone in the country can go online and view every single payslip I've ever been given as a councillor. And hopefully I won't be the last to do that.